Hello again from the lakes. It is another glorious day. I'll turn you around so you can see that the sun is setting over the lake. My room faces west, so I'm not one of the few who was woken up at 4:30 by the sun rising this morning, but this is what I get to see now. If you can see and you're not blinded by the sunlight, this is Lake Windermere, and it is gorgeous. I kind of hate that we have to go home. Well, not go home, but leave. We have to leave on Sunday. This is my little room. It's a bit doing laundry in the sink. It's tiny but well appointed and has most everything I need. So it's rather nice. Oh, I have to show you my treasure I got today. But first things first. We have been the entire day in Grasmere, which is the place where William Wordsworth spent most of his life, along with his sister Dorothy. And we were specifically at Dove Cottage, where they lived during the most productive years of his life, from 1799 to 1805. It's right after he published lyrical ballads, and while he was working on the Prelude. And so a lot of his work on his major texts come from those years, from that house, which we just had dinner and read poetry by candlelight. We got my favorite part, though, of the day, I think, had to be we were in the museum. Well, not the museum. It was part of the museum, but it's called the Jerwood Institute, where they have most of his manuscripts, and they have, I think, 15 first editions of the Prelude. And so we're sitting there in this reading room with all of these books around us, and I got to hold in my hands Wordsworth's own copy of Paradise Lost, his own copy with his notes in the margins, and the first edition of Frankenstein, and oh goodness, what else? There've been so many. Like we saw the original manuscripts of the Prelude. We saw one of Mary's copies of the Prelude, which she kept, she had to copy again and again and again, and he would revise because Wordsworth was such a perfectionist. But we spent the entire day basically in the cottage, in the reading room, handling these manuscripts, these texts worth thousands of pounds. But that doesn't even really matter, because it's the feel of the paper, knowing that this is what he saw. The writing is so faint and thin and neat in some places. Coleridge had much better handwriting, by the way. I know this now because I've seen it. And, oh, I forgot what I was saying. Can you tell I'm excited? One of the students looked at me and said, "Miss Osno, I love how you've just had this glow over your face all day long." She said, "It's been so cute to watch you, because I've been so excited about everything, seeing these texts that I've read for so many years and seeing where they started in the journals that he bought in Calais during the peace in 1802, when he went to go visit his daughter that he'd had with a woman he intended to marry, and it didn't work out. And so he goes over to see Annette, I think. Oh, I don't remember if that was a mother or daughter. But he goes over to see them and buys these 5 notebooks at Calais, and we saw one of the notebooks in which his sonnets are written, in which he wrote all these lines from the Prelude in 1804, when it was only intended to be 5 books, and then it ended up being 13 several years later, which is so much history, and it was amazing. But, oh, I was going to show you, I'm a little excited here. In the gift shop upstairs, they have these rare texts, rare out of print. And thanks to Dr. Waldron and her quick site, I now own Cecilia by Frances Burney. It's Miss Burney. And it's actually it's an American edition from, oh, I think it's something like, it's dated as a gift. It's signed 1886. So it's a rather early printing. I'm not sure if it's what edition it is, but it was. I don't have a copy of Cecilia, and then I have this little. I'll show you. Isn't it beautiful? You probably can't read it because it's probably going to be backwards because I have the camera on mirror, so you'll have to see it whenever I get home with it. But I was very excited. And this is now the third old book I have bought since I've been here. So, yeah. And I have to get my suitcase fixed tomorrow. Fortunately, the clerk downstairs told me of this little, about a mile and a half to the town center, there's a little small town hardware store, which he said that every time he's needed something, the man has gone down into his basement and come back up with something that will work. So I'm hoping he has a similar solution for me and my poor peg leg suitcase, because that would really be bad, because I really can't lift and carry that much all the way to Edinburgh, which is where we're going on Sunday. Tomorrow, however, we get to go see Beatrix Potter's Hilltop Farm. We have to take a ferry to get there, so I'm going to be on a boat. I'm very excited. I hope I can sleep.